Blessed Beltane, everybody. Welcome to our Sabbat episode number 3, which is about
Woo!
Beltane. Yes,
Yes.
it's coming out on Beltane.
On
Ooh.
Beltane. Yay.
Yeah, we like to give you all a couple weeks
Yes.
advance before this comes out so that you can plan and do some of the things we might suggest and all of that. But it's
hmm
been super hectic.
It
I
has been.
posted I posted on Facebook. My mother has been very sick
hmm
and I've had to go out of state to help with her. I'll be going back to help with her in May.
hmm
So yeah,
We are in May now.
oh God, it's May
It's May
1st.
1st. Happy
Beltane.
Beltane.
Happy Beltane. So we are very, 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 very sorry. We
Yeah.
do we try to record ahead of time so that, we can keep
hmm
things going if something unexpected comes up,
Yeah.
which
I mean,
inevitably happens.
we've used all of our saved episodes that we have like pre-recorded. And so right now we have nothing and we are just all over the place right now. So
hmm
hopefully you'll forgive us and hopefully you were able to do some of the things that we're about to talk about to prepare for Beltane and celebrate Beltane. Um, I know I haven't been able to prepare at all to celebrate Beltane, which makes me sad.
Me too.
We'll get back into our groove. We're all over the place right now with unseen for events and yeah.
Yeah, I do have a party coming up that I think since you're going to be there, Ren, then we can kind of do a little bit of Beltane,
Yes, that'll
maybe
be
something.
this
We'll have,
weekend.
yeah,
And
it's
then I know
actually
I know our listeners are going, then why don't you freaking record if you guys are throwing a party?
I know I mean, we're not ready for the party. This was planned a long time ago. And because
Uh-huh.
of all the crap that's come up,
Everything is just
we're now going, oh my God, how are
everywhere.
we going to do this party?
And we have people that
So,
are invited and we can't and it's this
yes,
weekend and um yeah.
yeah,
So we it's fine.
it, it's fine. It'll be fine.
It's fine.
It does have a pastel color
hmm
scheme to the party.
hmm
And so we kind of are hoping to be able to ourselves, not a lot of people come in are witches that want to celebrate Beltane or acknowledge
Yeah.
it. But I thought when we're together, maybe we can do
Do some
something
things. I think
ourselves.
we're gonna do some fun witchy cocktails and
For sure.
have some really good food. And so that'll be part of our celebration, just not
Yeah.
on Beltane, like how I wish we could, but it's also a Wednesday in the middle of a work week.
Yeah. I mean, and in modern times, it's I think it's
It's
okay
difficult.
to celebrate
Yes,
when you can.
absolutely.
It's the intent that the celebration, just because you can't get to it on the actual day, it's a school day or it's a work day or whatever, doesn't mean that you can't celebrate the weekend before or the weekend after.
Yeah. And now with us that all of that being said, we're on our Sabbath series.
Yes.
And so now all of that is on our Sabbath series for you to hear all of our struggles from our current time, which will be your future self.
Yeah. Oh, and you all are going to get to hear this again if you listen to our regular
Again and
episodes.
again and
So,
again. Yeah, we always complain. It's our podcast. Obviously, that's what we're going to be doing.
obviously. Okay, well, what is Beltane? Beltane is an ancient Gaelic festival that was celebrated on May 1st, which May 1st marks the halfway point between the spring equinox and the summer solstice.
hmm
So it's a time of great significance in many cultures, particularly those with Celtic roots, and it's observed with all kinds of rituals and ceremonies and festivities. And I actually saw a meme. I haven't told you this. I need to copy and send it to you, Ren. It's a meme and it's got a picture on the top with the bunny and the eggs and all of the fertility things that we take
hmm
into account for the first half of the year and the first half of the Sabbats.
Yeah.
And then on the bottom, it's a ghost with all the spooky. It says there's really only two seasons, uh, horny season and spooky season. And I was like, that's pretty
Oh,
good for
okay.
fertility. And then as the harvest and the dying cycles. So I thought that was pretty clever. It was
What we
adorable.
need to do is for our like Samhain and all of that merch, we need to
hmm
do like little plants that are ghosts because it's harvest season, so they get
Oh,
yacked, whacked.
okay. You got to write that down because you know we won't
Okay, let me write
remember
it down.
that because we can't remember what we've said. Did
Ghost
we do an
plants.
episode on this before? And what did we? Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
ghost plants.
Well, let's talk about some of the Beltane correspondences and
Yes.
associations. So one of the things I found was the animals, which this was interesting to
Oh.
me. The swallow, the dove, which that's funny because I've been feeding the birds and we
Hmm.
have so many doves that come and eat out of our bird feeders.
Oh,
So
really?
they are definitely around right now.
Okay.
Swans, cats, the lynx, and the leopard.
Oh,
Interesting. And
okay.
then colors. What do you have for colors?
So the colors that Beltane kind of corresponds with are is green,
Hmm.
which represents the lushness of spring and the return of life to the earth.
Hmm.
Red slash pink, which symbolizes passion, love, and vibrant energy of the season. White and
Okay.
silver, which represents purity and the fullness of the moon, which is important around some of these Beltane traditions.
Hmm.
And then yellow for the representation of the sun and the beginning of
Yeah.
summer.
That's what I would have thought too. Green and yellow to me are Beltane
I don't
colors
know.
for
I'm
sure.
very like because Ostara to me is pastel. And so
Hmm.
Beltane to me are those more deeper, rich colors.
Hmm.
But I don't know what color really hones in for Beltane. I think it's purple for me.
Really
Yeah, I think
interesting.
Beltane is purple.
Then there are the symbols of Beltane.
Hmm.
A lot of them are the phallic symbols because it is a time of sexual energy.
Hmm.
So, like the maypole is about as phallic as you can get. But
Okay.
and the broom also, the
Yeah, we've talked
besom.
about the butt cheeks on the broom, yes,
Yeah,
before.
yeah, yeah. But also things like reeds and strings of beads and flowers and
And
ribbons.
ribbon, I would say ribbon, yeah.
Pretty much any flowers, really. Flowers
Yeah.
are essential, I think, to
Hmm.
Beltane.
Hmm.
Still eggs because we're still in the fertility season.
Okay,
Uh,
yeah, that makes
a
sense.
butter churn. This one made me think of you because you've got your little handmade butter churn.
I broke it.
Oh, I think you did
Yeah,
tell me
I
that. You
broke
need a
it.
new one.
Yeah,
Well, you could even put it broken on your altar to
that's true.
symbolize,
That's very true. I also have that a cauldron can be a symbol because
Okay.
the cauldron represents the womb of the goddess and is used for transformation and creation rituals.
Oh, that's true.
Isn't that cool?
What crystals and stones and
Crystals.
stuff did you crack? Yes, what did you find for crystals and stones and gems?
So some of the crystals are carnelian, which I love carnelian, because they have sort of like that boost of energy to help you focus and it kind of encourages you during this time.
Mm-hmm.
There is gold sheen, which I've never heard of this one. Gold sheen obsidian, which I think is
Huh.
so cool. And this is used to help protect you. It's like a protection crystal. So it shines light on the inner darkness, clearing your psyche and protecting you from traits like fear, addiction, anxiety, and anger.
I like that.
There is
Okay.
bumblebee jasper, which I know, just like a bumblebee helps flowers with pollination, this stone helps remove blocked energies and lets good vibes flow, basically.
I have to have one.
You have sunstone. Sunstone is it basically what it is. It has that energy and positive, I guess, positive energy from the sun and the
Mm-hmm.
warmth, and it helps with creativity. And this is also one with sensuality.
Okay.
You also have flower agate, or just I feel like any agate really in this time. But
Mm-hmm.
flower agate helps to activate and connect your heart and root chakras, which can help, build that connection within yourself and will help
Okay.
lead you into a deeper meditation and letting go of the past and moving forward, especially during this time when you are moving out of winter, more into spring. It just helps you
Mm-hmm.
let go of past things and move forward.
This is the time to do that. Yeah, for
Hmm.
sure.
Those are some of the ones that I found. They were a bit different than our standard, like, oh, rose quartz, etc. But I thought they were really pretty and
I
really cool.
like that. Yeah, because I found emerald, the only one I don't think you mentioned emerald, and to me the green color,
Hmm. Oh,
but
that's very true. Yeah.
but that green color is to me more summery than because we're not quite at summer yet. We're at the beginning.
Yeah, we're
I mean, we
getting
haven't even
there.
started summer really
Yeah.
here yet.
Hmm.
But
Are you
so
sure? The
emer
weather, the heat says otherwise.
yeah, the weather says, ha ha ha, I'll show you.
Yeah.
The different flowers and herbs that I found that honeysuckle, mint,
Oh, yeah.
mugwort, thyme, basically all flowers, any flower that is in full bloom, which we have down by our mailbox, a bunch of roses, and they're just beautiful.
Oh, yeah, I bet.
And they bloom just in time to do the teacher
Aw,
appreciation day. So we always send roses in fresh from our
that's
garden to the
sweet.
teachers every year.
That's so
Yeah.
sweet.
And then the element, of course, is fire. It's a
Yes.
fire festival.
Yes.
Now, I did come across some deities. Did you do any deities at
I
all?
did not.
Okay. So the goddesses are generally mother or sex type goddesses.
Okay.
So Aphrodite and Venus, which
Mm-hmm.
represent both mother and lover.
Mm-hmm.
The Norse goddess Freya, she's also a fertility goddess that's associated with love and sex.
Mm-hmm.
Flora, the Roman goddess, is associated with flowers and is also honored in early May.
Okay.
The gods are generally associated with the sun and
Oh,
fertility
yeah, that
gods.
makes sense. Yeah.
So you've got the Greek god Pan, who is a fertility god, or Dionysus, or Bacchus is his other name.
Mm-hmm.
Um, he is the god of wine and the ripening vines,
Yep. Mm-hmm.
the grapes that are coming to growing and ripening. The Celtic god Ceranos. We never know how to pronounce his name,
No.
but he is the god of the wild and the forest, and he's also honored at this time. You've got Bel, who is Celtic, Bel, and the Norse god Sol, which Sol. They're both sun gods,
Mm-hmm.
which makes sense. And then this one you would like is Ra, the Egyptian god
Oh,
of the
yeah.
sun, would
You
be
don't even have to
appropriate.
describe what
Hmm
it is. I know I know what exactly you're
hmm
talking about.
So those would be the gods if you want to bring the deities into your practice for Beltane.
I like it.
Me too. But it's one of the first fire festival sabbats, which is lovely,
Hmm.
is fire sabbat. And the name Beltane is believed to have originated from the Gaelic word Beltane, and I do not have a Gaelic accent, but that word means bright fire. So fire plays a central role in Beltane celebrations. It symbolizes the sun's growing strength because it's getting lighter and lighter and warmer, at least here in the northern hemisphere. Um, and it's going towards that point, the summer solstice, where it will be the brightest day of the year. So bonfires are traditionally lit as a means of purification and protection. Communities would gather around these sacred flames to honor the changing seasons, and it became associated with themes of fertility, abundance, and new beginnings, hence the horny time of year. I
Yes.
just thought that was so funny. I reposted it on our Facebook for any of y'all who follow us on Facebook. I just found it very humorous.
I haven't seen it.
Um, it's a time when the earth is bursting with life. We've had our Sabbats where we're celebrating the sleeping of life, the beginnings of awakenings, but still cold. We're finally now there's life everywhere bursting around us. Nature is awake. Winter slumber is gone, and there's a burst of vitality all around
Hmm.
us.
Hmm.
So there are a lot of rituals and customs related to fertility, like dancing around the maypole. I think everybody has probably heard of that
Yeah.
and seen them in movies and that
Oh,
kind of
yeah.
thing, where the girls would hold the ribbons and dance around and weave this beautiful ribbon down the
Yeah,
maypole.
and somehow it always looks really pretty and not in like a big knot at the top.
If you and I tried to do that, it would be horrible.
It would be a big knot at the top.
And we'd be like, well, that's a really pretty knot up there. Yay, Beltane.
Yay, Beltane.
But there were also customs that were about making flower crowns because there are flowers everywhere right now. And so that was really common.
Oh, yeah.
But I wanted to talk little bit about the history. at least as far as the ancient Celtic and Gaelic traditions go.
Hmm.
It was believed to have originated thousands of years ago as a festival to mark the beginning of summer,
Hmm.
which is a huge time. It was a time of abundance that everything, they struggled during the winter months
They
hoping that they were going
survive.
to survive. So
Yeah.
yes, it's a celebration of survival.
I'm alive. Woo.
And its history is intertwined with the agricultural cycles of the land, of course. And it's the reverence for nature's cycles and how, I mean, they had to live through those cycles. And so they celebrated each one, and it became very important in their culture. And then pre-Christian, this is all pre-Christian, it is thought to um, have been a festival and a festival celebrated by the ancient inhabitants of the British Isles, Ireland, and parts of Europe. Um, it its agricultural significance, like I was talking about before. I mean, the people relied heavily on the land for their
Hmm.
survival,
Yeah.
and so it this time marks this transition from the barren winter, the frigid cold that everything is sleeping or dead,
Dead.
and the promise of a bountiful harvest, which will come later in the year.
Hmm. Hmm.
So, one of the most prominent features of Beltane is bonfires, as I said, and these fires were believed to be protective. And I think we've talked about this before because I know we've talked about Beltane before a little
We
bit,
have. We've talked about it multiple times. Every single time the year comes around, we always talk about it in that episode.
but usually just a little blurb.
Just
But
a
I think
little. Hmm.
I had talked about this. People would have two bonfires and they would drive their livestock between the bonfires as a
Hmm.
way to purify them. And then
Cleanse
remember, we
them.
talked about people jumping over the flames
Oh,
at
yeah.
Beltane
I would
to
fall
help
into it. I
cleanse.
remember having
I
this
would, we
conversation.
did, we did. But they thought that doing this, jumping over the flames or driving the animals in between two bonfires was a form of blessing and protection against disease.
Okay.
And the fires were also seen as a symbol of the sun's growing strength and vitality because it's going towards that summer solstice.
It's starting to quote in that time. I think how they would probably believe it is like stronger. Like,
Mm-hmm.
how do you think they thought of it? I mean, I know we have all these holidays and all of that, like celebrations
Mm-hmm.
for, making it through the winter, etc. But how did they explain why it got colder and the sun looked dull in a sense, and then
Mm-hmm.
summertime it was vibrant and beautiful and exactly what they needed?
I,
Like how would they explain that?
I
Like
think they were
gods and
actually
stuff?
more in tune with nature than we are now. So
Absolutely.
I think that they knew that
They knew
this was
exactly. Yeah.
that they might not have known the sun and we rotate around the sun and
Hmm.
that kind of
Hmm.
thing, but they definitely were more in tune with the seasons and understanding that this was a continual
Hmm.
cycle that
Hmm.
happened. This is the cycle of life.
Yeah. Yeah.
um, so fertility celebrations were important. There was a lot of horniness going on, a lot of, it's the time of going and making babies and continuing on your culture and that kind of thing.
Hmm.
And then along came Christian influence.
Yay.
And with the spread
We
of
we all
Christianity,
know.
I know
Yeah.
many of the pagan festivals, including Beltane, were absorbed into the Christian celebrations
Hmm.
and or suppressed altogether.
Hmm.
Um, which is
It's funny. I'm not going to preach about it here because this is our Sabbath series, but it's
mhm,
funny to see even today. I'll be scrolling through social media, TikTok, Instagram Reels, whatever it may be, and people are like, "Oh, here are things that you do that are witchy that you didn't know was witchy, like
yeah,
knocking on wood or throwing
hmm,
salt over your shoulder if you spill it,
hmm,
etc., etc." And it was talking about Ostara and how a lot of egg dyeing and decorating with specific
hmm,
decorations all trace back to Ostara and
hmm,
now known for like Christians, Catholics. I don't really know religions, so I can't really
hmm,
say anything other than like now it's Easter for them.
hmm,
And so I just it's amazing how many people didn't know or don't know the origin of what people like what they're celebrating.
Yeah, yeah, for
Like
sure. Yeah.
Christianity was not, I mean, it's much younger than what Ostara and all, like, what am I trying to say? What, I don't want to say pagans because pagan's not the right word either, but old traditions
Hmm.
turning into something else. And people are like, oh no, that Easter's always been a
Yeah.
Christian holiday or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
And no, 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 it's all been modified so that
Hmm.
people would join that religion, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
And
I think they found that the pagans be, could not be converted because these celebrations, these Sabbats were so ingrained in their culture and their
mhm.
lives
Yeah,
that
exactly.
the church had to do something to uh, bring them into the fold. So,
Hmm.
Beltane became Easter and Ostara
Hmm.
became Easter, um, that kind of thing. Yeah. So now, like, we go to the Renaissance Festival,
Oh
and
yeah, I love the Ren Fair.
a lot of times they will have a maypole that if you happen to
Hmm.
go the weekend of May 1st, if there is one,
Hmm.
they will have a little show where the girls do the twining of the ribbons and they dance around and they weave, and it's the coolest thing. So it is actually becoming popular again. That's not really
Popular.
the
I don't
right
like that
word.
term.
It's there's a modern revival. Let's put it that way
Yeah, but
of
it's
of
still not
that.
a modern revival of what it should be. It's not that recognition of like this is how it used to be
Hmm.
type of thing. And these are the traditions that have been modified.
Hmm.
It's just kind of been, it's becoming popularized. We've talked about this as well with witchcraft.
Hmm.
Witchcraft has become, quote, popularized. And that's
Hmm.
why a lot of people, or you see a resurgence of
Yeah.
witchiness,
Yeah. There
which
is
is nice. It's very
it,
nice because we're getting what's the like out there
awareness.
awareness.
Yeah.
But is it the correct awareness is what I'm saying. Like is all
I
of this
think,
that we're talking about Beltane and all of the Sabbats in our Sabbat series, is it all correct awareness and how we're
well,
talking about it? And
I do think that because times have changed, the way it's going to be celebrated is going to be different because we're not surviving through the
yeah,
winter. This isn't like, oh, thank
that's
God we're going
true.
to have food. So, but I
This
think
is
that
like a we have a surplus and we get to
the
party.
the fact that we're even thinking about the roots of it is wonderful, I
Hmm.
think.
Hmm.
I think that people are now turning back to where are the roots of these things, and that's why there's this resurgence, like you were talking about,
Hmm.
among modern
That is
people.
true. Hmm.
And people are becoming more nature based. They're become as
I do
cities
love good nature.
grow,
Hmm.
people are starting to understand. I feel like crap. I
Hmm.
need to be outside. I got to be in the sun. I want earth and
Hmm.
trees. And because of that desire, I think that's where this new interest is coming about again, is people wanting to reconnect with nature
Yeah, yeah. Hmm.
and celebrate the beauty and the abundance of this natural world.
Hmm. I'm sorry. I interjected and got us way off topic.
That's okay. But I mean, how could we celebrate Beltane in our world, since we
Yeah, I
it is
mean,
a different
it is
world
very
altogether.
different. And
And
then I
thankfully,
feel like
because
we might not be doing it justice compared to how it used to be celebrated.
but I think the intent of it is something that we can embrace. We can embrace the
Hmm.
intent and what our ancestors had to go through during
Hmm.
this time, and be
Hmm.
thankful that we don't have that issue where we have to worry about how can we make sure our livestock doesn't die of disease this year. And they would do it by purifying them through bonfires. And
Yeah, yeah,
we
that's
have
true. Hmm.
antibiotics, or,
Hmm.
you know, doctors that can,
Yeah.
animal doctors, that
Sterile.
veterinarians, that's the
Yeah.
word. Yeah.
Sterile
So, and
environments,
sterile
etc.
environment. Yeah,
Hmm.
for sure.
Yeah.
But the maypole is one of the iconic ways to celebrate.
Hmm.
So you can make your own maple.
Oh.
You can find a tall pole, like even a flagpole you can use if you've got a lot of people fly American flags, or whatever country you are, you fly your flags. You can use that pole as
Mm-hmm.
your maypole.
Mm-hmm.
And you tie a bunch of brightly colored ribbons around the top and you weave them around. It's
Mm-hmm.
great if you've got a ton of people. I just love watching it at the Renaissance Festival to
Yeah.
see these girls dance. It's very cool.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but you can do that yourself. And you can, if you don't have a flagpole or whatever, pick a tree, decorate a tree in your
Oh,
yard.
that sounds
Just,
fun.
yeah, decorate the tree with ribbons. You don't have to even have them be tied together. Just let the ribbons
Flow.
flutter in the wind. You can put flowers on the branches like you're decorating a Christmas tree, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Beltane is also a time of feasting and music and merriment, which I think all of our Sabbats are that way because I
Mm-hmm.
think it was important for the people to understand that life wasn't just the drudgery that they faced. There
Yeah.
was so much death and so much hard work, and every day was just an attempt to survive until the next day.
Yeah.
And so these Sabbats meant something to them. They were a celebration of everything. And so, of
Mm-hmm.
course, that's a time of feasting and music and merriment.
Yay. And yeah, merriment is a good word.
So, feasting, we love to feast.
Mm-hmm.
You would want to choose, like if we're celebrating it today, choose foods that represent fertility of the earth.
Lamb.
Yes,
Every
lamb is
celebration in my mind includes
lamb,
lamb.
but wild strawberries. Strawberries are
Oh,
coming
yes.
into they're sprouting, growing,
Sprouting.
blossoming, becoming cherries, other fruits, as well as honey cakes and breads and
A
cheese.
honey cake sounds so freaking
I
good.
know. Strawberries are associated with love and passion. Honey symbolizes sweetness and abundance.
Oh.
The fresh greens, if you wanted to have a salad, represent the
Mm-hmm.
vitality of spring.
Mm-hmm.
Oat cakes were a traditional Beltane food used in rituals in the past. So you could do some kind of oat cake. And if you're running short on time or you have your own natural vegetables, go to a local's farmer's market.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
okay, so we love to advocate like if you don't have time, because we also
Hmm.
don't have time. Like we
Absolutely.
we sit here, we talk about these things, and we sometimes do we do a lot,
We
but
do.
sometimes we don't have time to do any of
Hmm.
it. It's
Hmm.
okay to go to a local farmer's market because that's pretty nice. Go to a local
Hmm.
farmer's market, you're supporting local business and all of that. If
Hmm.
you just need to go to Publix, Kroger, Aldi, whatever you shop at,
Yeah.
and get like a little cake, a lemon cake, honey cake,
Yeah.
whatever, that is absolutely fine. Like you don't need
Yeah.
to be making this stuff home like from scratch. You don't need to be fancy if you don't want to be. You can also make a little bakery cake from Kroger fancy. You can take it out
Hmm.
of the plastic that it comes in, put it on a little pretty plate, and boom bam. Like
Go buy
that's
a
all you need.
cupcake and a mint sprig and stick a mint sprig in it, and it would be so cute. And
It would
take
be
it to work
cute.
with you. And, and
And
eat it
then
at your desk
and then you're
at
celebrating.
work.
Like
Yeah.
however you need to celebrate, that is what you need to do. Like you don't
Yeah.
need to force yourself to try to be anything that you're not. And even if you're stressed and you want to be, like let's say you want to be the person who home makes everything. Like I would love
Hmm.
to
Hmm.
hand make. I'm struggling with my words. I would love to make everything from scratch,
Hmm.
but I don't have time.
Me
So
too.
I'll go
Me
and
me
I'll
neither.
buy something and it's saves me time, makes me happier. I don't have to stress, et cetera, et cetera. Just do that.
See, and when we do try to do it, like this party that we're having
Oh
this
God.
weekend, we're like in over our heads. And I kind of
We are
wish that
kind
we
of
had just said, let's just us get together with our husbands and have
and just
cupcakes.
yeah, and just sit on the floor and just drink.
Chill and drink. Yeah. Speaking of drinking, mead is a perfect
Oh my
choice
gosh, I
for
love
Beltane,
mead. Mead is so
or
good.
really any Sabbath. I mean, I think every Sabbath we say mead is a great drink for this.
But it's universal. It's a universal drink when it comes to the Sabbats.
I think so too. But really, any spring cocktail or drink is a great choice. Like you like to make your fresh lemonade. That to
I
me
love my lemonade.
is perfect for many of the Sabbats.
Hmm.
It's, handmade, homemade.
Homemade.
We're
Yeah.
both struggling here.
Whichever the word is.
But that's a perfect. drink, and if you want to add vodka to it, that's okay too. That's
Mm-hmm.
always my go-to.
Mm-hmm.
But
Or not. Like you don't have to do that either.
yeah, it could just be the lemonade. It could be water with a lemon
A lemon
squeezed
in it.
into
You
it.
don't have
Yeah,
to. Yeah.
yeah. Um, Beltane fires. I do want to talk about those again.
Okay.
If you've got a big yard, go ahead and light a large bonfire, but check with your local authorities
Fire
because,
department.
yeah, some people, there are fire bans in place
Mm-hmm.
sometimes, and I don't even know it. Like here, we can go online and see
Mm-hmm.
if there's a fire ban in place. So just check with your local authorities to see if you can
Authorities,
have a
yeah.
bonfire.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you don't have room for a real bonfire, then you can use candles.
Yes.
You can have the tabletop little fire pits. There are some of the cutest little,
Yeah, and they're
you know,
not too expensive. I was looking on Amazon. One of them was pretty cute and decent for like $20.
and there's
$20,
some
it's a lot, but
that,
$20?
that are super expensive, like those solo stoves, the smokeless
Oh,
ones.
don't even get
There
me
is this
started on those.
really cute little tiny
A
one, which
little tiny
I'm
one.
yeah, to go on your tabletop. And I'm like, I want that. And my husband's like, we don't need that. And I'm like,
We don't, but
but
and
it's so cute.
they're like $170
I
for what?
know.
It's
I
metal that you
know.
just and you have to put the wood in it
But
yourself. So
it's
like it's
smokeless.
$170 just for the base. And they're sure they're cute,
They are
but
cute.
and they come in
But
like different colors, but regardless, like no.
yeah, I do really like the tabletop ones though. And
They are
like you
pretty
said,
cute.
there are some cute ones out there. So, if you're in an apartment, that's cool. Or a
You know
candle.
what? You got me and my husband when we first moved into our apartment,
I
right?
remember, was it a fire? Yeah, it was
Or
fire.
maybe
Or
it
it
just
was
wasn't when we
or
moved in.
water.
No, it wasn't when we moved in. Did I know you when we moved in?
I don't know.
See, my brain is scrambled, but you gave us one
I think it,
regardless.
it I feel like it was a housewarming gift.
I don't know.
I don't know
That
either.
you got to put a big question mark in the air for that.
Yeah.
We have confusion. Anyways, let's talk about more Beltane fires.
Okay. But yeah, anyway, you can bring that fire element into your
Mm-hmm.
celebration
Mm-hmm.
in all kinds of ways. I mean, even just a candle would be a great way to
Oh,
do it.
even a candle, yeah.
And then let me look. I think I had.
I'll have to take a picture of the one that you got my husband and I going. Like, we
Okay.
haven't turned it
Yeah.
on in a while because our little patio, we haven't really sat outside enough to have it on,
Hmm.
but we still have it. It's like this beautiful little thing. I'll put it on our blog.
Okay. This is another idea that I came across, sky lanterns. And instead of lighting bonfires, which is traditional, of course, but you could release sky lanterns to symbolize letting go of the old and welcoming in the new. And, it's beautiful floating up into the sky.
Yeah.
So that's another
Okay.
way to bring fire into,
But question, what happens when it comes back down?
yeah, that I don't know. And we do need to be aware of nature and all of that stuff. And
Yes.
yeah, so I don't know. It's something to
But
look into.
that's also another thing you need to check with like your local fire
Hmm.
department, authorities, whatever, if you can
Hmm.
release a sky lantern.
Hmm. But I thought that was cool. I had never
That
thought
is cool.
about
I've
that
never thought
as
about
a,
that either. That's so cool.
and then the Green Man is very important at Beltane.
Yes.
He is a creature, a figure, a god, some might think, that is associated with nature, fertility, and rebirth. And
Mm-hmm.
people would often dress up as the Green Man. They would put
Oh,
leaves and branches and all of that to symbolize the renewal of life and abundance in nature. So you can decorate your altar with leaves and branches and flowers and acorns and that kind of thing. But
mm-hmm.
another fun thing in modern times to do would be maybe to decorate masks with
Oh,
greenery and ivy and all of that, and have a selfie station set up if you're having a party.
that would be
And
cool.
yes, how fun would that be?
My mind instantly went to a wreath, like a
Hmm.
like a decor, a wreath that you put on like your door, your wall, etc.
Hmm. For
Wow.
sure. There are all kinds of fun plant things that you can do for Beltane. It is
Mm-hmm.
that time.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, you can have, if you're having a party, or even if it's just in your family, you can pick a May King and a May Queen.
Oh.
And, the May Queen represents the fertility of the land. and she's often symbolized with or adorned with flowers and ribbons. And the May King symbolizes the masculine energy of the sun and the vitality of the earth. So, what would be really fun, and I know this is last minute, so maybe next year,
Or think about it. I know we're late, but let's say people can't celebrate today and they're celebrating this weekend.
true, you
You
can,
could do
what
this
you can
weekend.
do if you're having a party, which we are, you can put folded pieces of paper into a nature themed bowl of some kind. Uh, have the exact number of folded papers for each number of people that are attending. And when they come
Hmm.
in, one of them will say king and one of them will say queen, and the rest will be blank. And have everybody, when they come in, pick one. And whoever draws the one that's king is the king, and whoever draws one that's queen is the queen. And you can have them wear crowns, you can have flower wreaths, you can have a flower wreath making party.
That's
Um,
cool.
and then they would wear that the whole time of the party. And how
I
fun would that
like
be?
that idea.
Yeah.
We didn't do that for our party.
No, I didn't think
We
about
haven't
it.
planned for this part of the party. Is there a
No,
way we can do last minute additions?
maybe so. Maybe
We
so.
we already have a lot to plan.
And we haven't done any of it yet. It's
No, we
all this
haven't.
nebulous
Mm-mm.
plan
Just a
floating over
thought.
our heads.
Yeah, just a thought in the air.
We've got like 3 days to get this together.
Woo!
We'll do it. We'll get it done.
Yeah.
Another thing about Beltane is the fairy folk or fae folk.
Hmm.
Beltane is considered a liminal time, and that's another time during the year when the veil between the human world and other worlds is considered to be thin. So in folklore, it was thought that fairies would emerge from their little hidden dwellings to join in the Beltane festivities, and
Hmm.
they would bless the land with their presence and bestow gifts upon those who honored them. So you can have a party where you all leave offerings out for the fae, or you might make a fairy garden in your
Oh, you can
garden
make
area.
little flower crowns for
Hmm.
them.
Hmm.
That would be cute.
So that would be fun. And then flowers in general hold a really special significance during Beltane because
Okay.
they are starting to bloom. You
Hmm.
think of the cherry trees down here, most of those are gone, but it depends on
Hmm.
where you are. But there's some beautiful flowers that are coming out and about right now. And they symbolize fertility, beauty, and the interconnectedness of all living things.
Hmm.
And so some people would gather flowers from fields and create garlands or wreaths, like you were talking about, or other floral decorations to decorate their homes or their altars. So have your family and friends over and have a
Hmm.
wreath, crown, a flower crown making party.
Hmm.
And
See,
have someone, the one that's voted the best, get a prize of some
no,
kind.
because if mine wasn't voted the best, I would cry. Everyone's happy and peaceful all
Okay,
together.
somebody wins and gets a prize, everybody else gets to take a shot. It's a win-win all the way around.
Mm, maybe to you. But I was gonna say on my drive home, I drive past these like really nice like fields, open fields and everything.
Hmm.
And they're beautiful. And I mean beautiful flowers or whatever. Like they're not flowers. They're like these, I'll have to take a picture of them. I'll
Okay.
have to like pull
I'm
off to the side and take a picture of them because they are these beautiful puffy things. And they're like burgundy mixed with like
oh,
fields of like purple. It's like burgundy and purple tall flowers. Oh my gosh, they're so
there's
pretty. And I want to go and take a handful of them. I want to take
you
them.
should. You
I
should
don't
go
know if it's
and
private property or not.
oh yeah, maybe you shouldn't.
I mean, there are some that grow
I'll get a
like
phone call.
I'm in
River, can you come bail me out of jail?
jail. No, there are some like on like the side next to the road, and so I'm like maybe I could pull off to the side and take some of those,
Hmm.
but I still don't know.
That's
It's
my husband. I think I might have told this story. The very first flower he ever gave me were daffodils that he picked off the side of the road.
aw
We were young and
and
poor
broke.
and poor. So I think that it might have been our first date that he brought me daffodils. So that
Oh,
is
that's
my
cute.
favorite flower because of
Aw.
that. But you can actually host a flower arrangement party. I have wanted to do this for a long time, but it's going to cost a lot of money because you've got to have all the different types of flowers and all the different
Yeah.
decorations that go in with them. But how fun would
It would
that
be a lot of
be?
fun, yeah. And if you
Um,
dangle it properly and dry out the flowers properly, then you could have it forever.
Forever. Yeah. And
Or you could
flowers
just,
were,
I mean, fake flowers are not
that's
really the
true.
point, but you could use fake flowers and keep it forever.
That's true. Flowers were believed to possess magical properties. And so, of course, they were used in rituals to bring blessings and abundance. And I think it would just be so fun to decorate, make your flower arrangement and put it on your altar. How
That would be
beautiful is
so
that?
fun.
Yeah. Now, in some cultures, Beltane Eve is a big deal, which
Ooh,
we've missed because
we
that was
we missed
last
that. That was
night.
yesterday.
But
Yesterday.
they believe that it's a time of heightened magical energy when supernatural forces are particularly active.
Ooh.
And it's believed that if you stay up all night and keep vigil until dawn, that you can gain insight into the future and communicate with the spirits and receive blessings from the otherworldly beings that are out and about since the
Mm.
veil is thin.
So it is considered a thin veil right now too, or I guess yesterday.
Yes.
So sort of
Yes.
like Samhain.
Yes. It is another
Okay.
time where they say that the veil is thin.
Well, where are the ghost plants?
I know. I love that. We're gonna have to do a t-shirt with
We're gonna
ghost
have
plants for
to.
sure.
Have
For
to.
sure. Um, you can do a Beltane scavenger hunt, which would be fun.
Ooh.
You can organize a hunt for natural stuff, like you can have them say, "Go find a clover, go
Hmm.
find, something." And if you don't want to pick the clover, you can do it with pictures. You can have the scavenger hunt be a picture scavenger hunt. Everybody's got phones nowadays.
Oh yeah.
So you can find flowers or ribbons or trees or whatever else you want out there and make a scavenger hunt. And if you want to plan it ahead of time, you can actually put things around that for them to find for the
Hmm.
party or whatever it is. Or if it's
Hmm.
for your kids that you're wanting to do this for, you can put the symbols of Beltane about for them to find. And you can do this outside because it's usually beautiful weather.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. When I think of any Sabbath, I think of food.
Me too. Food and alcohol.
Yes. I think that this time around, hopefully not for the party, just in general, I want to make a
Mhm.
lemon cake. But my husband and I are planning on going to the strawberry picking patch.
Oh, you said.
And we have one maybe about 30-ish, 40-ish minutes away from us. And so we're gonna go pick fresh strawberries, and then I want to make a lemon cake with strawberries mixed into
Mm,
it. I'm so excited. I don't know if
that
I'll be
is
able to do that before our party, so I can't bring some to the
probably
party.
not. We've got like 3 days
Yeah.
before the party. This is
But
ridiculous.
we could also
What did?
make like banana bread. I love to make banana bread,
Yeah.
chip banana bread. And then I didn't think Beltane would pertain to like hamburgers or cheeseburgers, but it kind of makes sense to
Hmm.
have a burger. And I don't say that word right. I know I don't. Burger.
That's right. That's how
But
I say it.
I don't
We
know.
are
It's like
Southern.
summertime and we are
Yeah.
in the
To
US.
me,
So a
the
burger and
burgers and hot dogs are more the summer solstice.
summer. Yes, I
Yeah.
guess that's true. And no, we do not only eat those things here. I know that people I've
From
I
other
was I
countries.
was watching
Those
another
Americans.
yeah, I was watching a video and they were like, I know this isn't everybody's thought process, but it was pretty funny. I don't know what country they were in. I think it was somewhere in Europe, and they were like, Is all that Americans eat hot dogs and cheeseburgers?" And I was like, I mean, that's part of our like
we
what we
we
eat, but
like
that's
those
we like
things.
it. We eat it maybe every now and then. I can't tell you the last time I had a hot dog or a
Yeah.
cheeseburger,
It's been a while.
but it's funny because we're sitting here talking about hot dogs and cheeseburgers, and then that just reminded me. But yeah,
Yep.
I think that I mean. There's nothing less Beltane than meat with some bread
Hmm.
and then veggies
Yeah.
on top.
Yeah, really it's the blessings of the earth that we're celebrating. So like you
Yeah.
said, strawberries
Oh
and
my gosh, I'm so
the
excited about strawberries.
vegetables, all of
Hmm.
that good stuff. I mean,
Hmm.
cabbage is coming out right now and broccoli and all of those they grow well in
Carrots.
the ooh. I don't like
I
carrots.
love a
I
good
have a bunch
carrot.
of carrots in our garden, but I don't like them.
Bring them to me.
We will. We will bring them to the party. Um, so you can also plant a community garden if you're lucky
Ooh,
enough
that's a
to
great
be
idea.
in an area where everybody is open to celebrating Beltane. You can, gather a group of like-minded people and plant a community garden
Hmm.
so that everybody can tend it and share in the harvest
Hmm.
as it comes due.
Oh yeah.
You know, choose plants that are native to your area that symbolize the season, what the season means to you. Another thing that you can do is create, and this is another fun idea, gather friends and family together and create herbal infusions and elixirs
Ooh.
using plants that are associated with Beltane, like the nettle, the hawthorn, the dandelion.
Hmm.
And, that would be a very witchy activity, I think. If you're in a coven, what a wonderful thing that would be. Um, and then you can have, I think with any Sabbath, you can celebrate the elements, the earth, air,
Oh
fire,
yeah.
and water, incorporate those. You can meditate, you can, do any kind of celebration of nature, and I think is appropriate for Beltane.
Hmm. Hmm. Absolutely.
I think that's all I've got. I am sorry that we didn't get you these ideas out in time to
Yeah.
implement ahead of time. We'll try
Yeah.
better. We'll try better.
We will try better.
But blessed Beltane, everybody. Love you
Absolutely.
guys.
Hmm. Do we do an
Um,
outro for this one?
I think we just say we'll be back.
Okay. We'll be back.
And until then, stay witchy.
Woo.
Woo.